Hello, my name is Wayne Curtis, and I'm reading for the Atlantic Book Award Festival. And this is for in care of Lana Carter. I'll read 10 minutes, a little 10-minute essay called Apple Picking. We had seen them from the road, watched as the delicate pink blossoms scattered to leave pistils that soon became marbles, then plum-sized apples stained green, then red, and finally a deep purple as they hung from overweighted limbs. The old tree was the center of a clearing, shading a crumbling rock cellar where lilac and chokecherry trees made a hedge that turned scarlet from the autumn frost. We picked our way through grass that long awaited the scythe, stepped around rustic tin cans, blueberry-studded bearscat, and squeezed through the prickly waist-high purple raspberry bush to where we stood beside the old scarred trunk. And we visualized bears smacking the tangy flavors we so desired. A woodchuck whistled to scare us off. We found bunions in which to place our feet, climbed, fell back, and stood on shoulders, unbalanced as we reached upward for the heavy-laden kink limbs. We were brushed by powdery leaves, stabbed in the back by bare broken branches, but reached new heights. The limbs were huge and strong, elephant trunks, knees, thighs that supported us as we crawled, smelling tar, clinging to the gray torso that was like an old earth mother, forsaken in the outback. You were wearing an old plaid shirt too long in the sleeves, your tan freckled smile radiant among the foliage, having spent the long summer days in fields of berry and bloom. Too young for love, we were partners in this outdoor game. The gathering of wild apples. This was long before I knew you as a wife, a mother of our daughter. We had gone there after school, squeezed through a rustic iron gate, stole along to where, as in my mother's paintings, the apples were crowded like so many swollen hawthorns on their stems. And just then, too, the sun broke through between the clouds and made a beam as if to draw water, or even goodness, from the tree in which we stood, like the rays that shine on Jesus in Mass cards, or to cast a light on us in the forbidden fruit, like the energy that gleams through our church stained glass windows, backlit from the river's radiance. It was so easy stealing the foods of temptation, leaving our tooth marks in their skin, munching with cramped jaws the first crab apples of the season. We looked at their inner parts, stem end to blossom end, their veins of red, specks of russet, varnished cavities that protected the seeds. Queen's choice, my mother called them. We bounced ourselves to shake the limbs, to drop the bigger sunburned apple to the earth, to be looked for on forked stems there in the aftergrass. Gathering them, some of which had been bruised by the rock or twig, we made hammocks in our shirts, so that we looked like peasant art or a reunionist Bible scene. We spilled them in the wildflowers as we went, to be gathered again and delivered to our homes where we unloaded them on the plank tables of our savory-scented autumn kitchens. Oh my goodness, children, where did you get them? At the old vicar's place, of course, I told myself not to say where if asked again. The old Bergerot tree, I might have said, though it was resting that year. It had not been the setting that mattered, or even the apple, but the company, the love of our still unfamiliar selves being tested for devilry in an outlying wilderness. From then on, it would always be a time and place in the mind, a moment held together in a secret bond brought forth by the taste of a crabapple. Later, we had seen the fruits of our labor hanging to dry in some shed, or between the flaky crusts of pie, or perhaps honey-colored in a jar with their stems still intact. My mother had stewed them with a touch of cinnamon and butter for the dining room dessert. But they would never look or taste as good again as the first bite sampled and in that company. The taste of a crabapple takes me to you even now. I could say it was the same year, the way the time compresses a thing and the aging process distorts the past, but in counting the empty chairs and viewing the photographs on the mantel, I can see that it's 3 generations hence. On a Sunday in December, after the long rains of autumn, and the frost had made leaded stained glass panes over shallow ponds, and outside the window snowflakes are falling among the blue limbs of the oak. In a parlor in the city, I am dressed in my Sunday clothes, listening to my granddaughter stumble for the piano keys. She is to be applauded not for her music exactly, but for who she is and what she means to me. At 8 years old, she is freckled, her face beaming in the way yours used to be. The music ends, we break for tea, a scallop like applesauce, homemade ice cream served on ornate dishes, to be nursed on linen napkins, eaten with silver spoons. And in this setting, as all settings now, I think of myself as out of place. I eat and think of you, resting in the churchyard in Black's Harbor. I see you there so long ago, your presence holy in the music, your freckled face beaming in the branches of a tree. Thank you.